On behalf of the Barangaroo Action Group, I welcome the Planning and Environment representatives to our review. This presentation will focus on the impact of the Barangaroo development to the community, and we'll make some recommendations of how the development process could be improved in the future, based on our vision and objectives as seen here. Here are some of our findings to the development. Finding number 1, lack of independent scrutiny in concept plan modifications. There are now 9 modifications to the concept plan, rendering the original approval redundant. There is a perceived conflict of interest with the concept plan process, as the government is both the landowner and assessment authority. We agree with the City of Sydney Council that this situation promotes perception of bias and lack of independent scrutiny of the development assessment. For example, modification 4 of the concept plan has a 45% increase in GFA. This particular modification was submitted to allow the approval of a commercial building C4. The subsequent decision to approve the C4 building is seen as dubious at best, especially as the bulk and scale of the building was well outside the original concept plan guidelines. Leichhardt Council specifically objected to this modification as it had been undertaken with no genuine community consultation and a lack of transparency. Finding number 2, insufficient consultation. In regard to the consultation of the Barangaroo SEP, we question why targeted notification to business groups, community organisations and relevant industry groups through workshops and presentations was not undertaken. The community concerns of the development could be captured in the SEP and provided an opportunity for the government to educate stakeholders. This approach may have developed a better public image. Instead, the Community Awareness and Attitudes Consultation Research paper completed by Review Partners in 2010 state 82% of people surveyed about Barangaroo either only knew a little, very little, or nothing at all about the site. Finding number 3, inadequate planning outcomes. An example is a proposal of the Barangaroo South commercial building. The Australian Institute of Architects' submission on the development state is out of scale and character with surrounding development, and the application is unclear in regard to the nature and extent of the provision of public domain. Another example are concerns about the pedestrian amenity for the C3 building. According to the City of Sydney, the podium awnings are high and narrow and appear to be clear glass, allowing for more advertising and branding at the expense of wind and rain protection during weather events. If the development was assessed under City of Sydney DCP footpath awning rules, pedestrian amenity would have required a more stringent planning test. Finding number 4, dismissive of local councils. In response on the Barangaroo public display, the Planning Institute of Australia recommended that the City of Sydney be a key partner in the development. However, throughout the development, the City of Sydney and also Leichhardt councils have elicited numerous submissions of objections. In most cases, the New South Wales Government and developer Lend-Lease have ignored the recommendations of the councils. In fact, the City of Sydney stated in their objection to Concept Plan Modification 4 that their comments were disregarded and additional modifications created further negative impacts. Recommendations. Transparent decision making. Firstly, no more substantial concept plan modifications. Our members need reassurance that the development will not be radically altered. The group also recommends that all future developments undergo an independent peer review process. As it is critical for future investment, decisions have to be seen as transparent and independent from any government agenda. Community participation. The group is supportive of elements of the proposed Community Participation Charter as prepared in the New South Wales White Paper for Planning Reform. The group commends in particular the requirements of a participation plan, which establishes practical methods of engagement and involves the community in strategic planning, with their interests potentially represented as performance criteria. If implemented, this may provide assurances that all future development of the Barangaroo site has to satisfy additional tests in environmental assessments. Merit assessment. The Development Assessment Forum recommends tract-based assessment. To rectify the previous design issues, we also support the code-based assessment module as described in the White Paper on Planning Reform. If passed through Parliament, all future development for Barangaroo should be merit assessed as EIS assessed development. This will allow all key environmental and performance criteria to be addressed, as it is many other jurisdictions and states who use this type of assessment. Collaborate with City of Sydney. The City of Sydney LEP must be considered for all future decisions whether state significant development or Part 3A modifications. The New South Wales Government must work together in partnership with local authorities in a coordinated manner. This in turn will achieve better outcome for residents, investors and community groups. Thank you and have a great day.